It's like that scene in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade where Indy has the grails in front of him. He has to choose the right one, and he goes for the one that he thinks a carpenter would own. I think I'm remembering that right, and actually, now that I think about it, that one wasn't gold at all. So maybe I'm using that reference wrong. Okay, so I'm gonna show you exactly what I would do if I was starting over today. And I'm not gonna drag this out. I would just go as simple as possible. I'd pick the coins that I could move faster than anything else. I'd hold back some cash so I wouldn't have to sell them off at a bad time. And I'd get the coins in capsules, tubes, and cases to let me know where I'm at and also help keep it significant. I'm not sure that significant's the right word. I don't know. Special sounds wrong. Anyway, if you're here to see what I would do, how I would start over with gold, well, this is it. Now, let me tell you why. Let me give you some hassles to avoid, maybe cover some things that I'm doing now to keep at it beyond that first few ounces. And then I'll explain what's up with my views on silver, and I'll flash some things that I wouldn't start with, but I almost think of as essential 14 years into this. The reason I threw down a Buffalo and some quarter ounce Eagles is that they're simple. The premiums right now are high on both of these coins. This is December of 2022, but it's because they're so popular that the supply has dried up for the year. And that's going to come down when the 2023 stock starts rolling out in January. Those premiums will come back down to where they've been. Now, it doesn't really matter though, because there are arguments to save some premium by buying coins like Canadian Maple Leafs, Britannias, Krugerrands, others. Even modern series coins might make sense. I would just make sure that whatever coin I choose is a decision that I'm ready to make over and over, because the less time that you have invested into buying gold, the more likely you are to decide that you're just not into it and then sell. So buy what you can sell easily, and even if you've decided to stick with it, the most likely reason to have to sell your gold will be because of an emergency, and you won't want to mess around with a bunch of random sales in that case. There's a pyramid here on how easy things are to move. If we're talking about gold here in the United States, coins, they're just easier to sell than bars. US Mint bullion, that's easier than any other government-backed coin. Government-backed coins, they beat old coins in strange weights or purities. And uniformity beats variety. That's if you want to be able to move your gold quickly. A pretty straightforward stuff, but we have everything out. So let's just keep it going and look at what keeps it interesting and even keeps it fun. Now, if you're going to stick with it, there are simple things that you can do to keep everything organized and even trick your brain a little bit to keep your head in it. Now, the easiest thing that I can come up with is to buy an empty tube with capsules to give yourself a goal. Airtight makes tubes that fit 20 direct fit capsules for 1 ounce coins or quarter ounce coins. That's 32 millimeter or 22 millimeter. It took me a few years to fill my first tube, but I could see the progress toward it the whole time. Capsules that keep your coins from getting dinged, the tubes keep them organized, and then that empty space, well, it gives you something to work toward, kind of a tube half full, tube half empty kind of a thing. It's a good trick. The tubes then, they go right in the safe, they go right in the wall, right in the rose garden, bottom of the lake, whatever, but cases can be fun too, and I like these Pelican cases to keep things together. Now, you probably want to spread out your loot, but I still like these cases to keep some of it together. Plus, I probably break some rules because of this channel. These make it easier for me to get ready for a video. I won't bore everybody with the details of what all this is. Check the description if you want to find links to the products. Now, if you do this for any amount of time, your eye's going to wander, especially if you watch YouTube videos of people flashing fancy coins. But I'd say hold off. I had a little bit of a restart personally. I sold some gold off to help with the real estate purchase, and I learned what was easy to sell and what wasn't. A pretty straightforward lesson. So after that, I went on a run where I built up several tubes of American Gold Eagles before ever grabbing anything else, collectible or otherwise. And that's where I'd start today. No old European stuff, no random tigers or lions or dragons. I would just go hard on 1 or 2 top choices until I had a good base. The buying schedule is one of the most important things. I would pick a size and a schedule that I could comfortably stick to. For me, for years, is quarter ounce Eagles. I probably prefer 24 karat coins today, so I would consider pacing myself, maybe buying the larger Buffalo less frequently, but there are other choices. Beyond those Eagles and Buffaloes, I'd probably consider Canadian Maple Leafs, maybe Britannia's. It's an easy choice, or even some series coins that would be relatively easy to move. And then, after a certain point, I might consider those proof Tigers and Dragons from the Perth Mint. Maybe I'd even let myself peek at reverse proof Libertats. Maybe. I think I promised a little bit on silver. Now, if I was starting in on stacking today, I'd work in some 10-ounce generic bars somewhere along the way. I'd even try to get a tube of American Silver Eagles or two built up if I could ever find any at a reasonable price. At the moment, though, it just isn't possible. The going rate for them right now is something like double what spot is. And that kind of kills the idea for me, because the primary usefulness of physical silver, to me, would be to have something that people recognized and understood. And the American Silver Eagle, it's just the clear winner here in the United States by a long shot. Now, if you're looking for silver out of speculation, bars probably make a lot more sense. I don't think silver fills that role personally. I mean, I bought for 12 years on certain hopes, and I'm done seeing it from that angle now. To me, it's a little bit of fun, a little bit of a what-if supply. I just see it differently than I see gold. So we covered coins, capsules, cases, kind of broke the theme talking about silver, but let's finish it up with collectibles. So we can say this video was brought to you by the letter C. Well, one of the things that keeps me into gold today is an occasional grail quest. Now, I've never been a big collector, but the last few years, I guess that's changed a little bit. I don't know if that's an age thing or a COVID thing or what it is, but all of a sudden I have a few illogically nice pocket knives. Maybe I have a bit of a similar story with some guns, but I'm not a big collector. And there's a really good reason for that. Collecting can be a huge money pit. Now, normally I can grab a grail item, a fancy coin or two, and that usually gets it out of my system, but every once in a while it's part of a series, and then a fool and his money pretty quickly parted twice, maybe 3 times, 4 times. It's definitely something to be careful of. Stacking gold does one thing really well. It puts wasted money into perspective. So that fancy pocket knife, well, maybe that could have been a half an ounce of gold. That dragon coin, maybe it could have been an ounce and a quarter, ounce and a half. Now, some of it still could be if I was able to sell it, but unless you want your future self to be spending time trying to find buyers on eBay for your random curiosities, it's something to consider. What I will say, though, is that when your fancy pickup has a story, it can go from curiosity to heirloom. And I would never sell a few of these. They will go to my kids, and that makes them a lot more valuable to me than that ounce and a half of standard bullion. So that's it. Get yourself a plan, get yourself some goals, and then let yourself break the rules a little bit once you get a ways in. It does not need to be strictly about emergency planning, though. You don't have to wait around for economic collapse, checking off your apocalypse gear list. It can be practical and it can be fun, especially if you avoid the pitfalls that can also make it a little bit frustrating. So let us know what you think. How would you start if you were jumping in today? Let us know. And then while you're in the comments, be sure to hit the like button if you found any of this interesting. Be sure you're subscribed with notifications turned on if you want to see more on the topic. And if you're still here, thanks again for watching. I always appreciate your time. Take care.